appreciate the frustration of the American people.
Today's focus was on eliminating so-called junk fees from banks and credit card companies, such as late fees and surprise overdraft fees. While they may seem small, Biden says they add up.
These steps will immediately start saving Americans collectively billions of dollars in unfair fees, giving them, as my dad would say again, just a little breathing room.
And Biden's been using that breathing room phrase pretty often recently, trying to send a message that his party understands what everyday Americans are facing. But not everyone is buying it. Republican Congressman Pat Fallon on Wednesday called Biden's vow to lower costs a bull-faced lie, saying he's just, quote, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Yet Biden defends his economic record by citing a recent drop in gas prices.
The most common price right now in America is $3.39 a gallon. It's going to come down more.
But there's some bad news for Biden. A Gallup poll released Wednesday shows his approval rating has dropped to 40%, retreating from a modest recovery in August. And that's no good news for Democrats either, as they're fighting to hold majorities in the upcoming midterms. Reporting from the White House, Iris Tao, NTD News.
And next up to discuss the distinct contrast between the two parties, we have Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Congressman Brian Babin, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you.
Congressman, a lot of races throughout the country. You have one yourself in Texas. A Democrat is running against you there. What do you think are going to be some of the key issues that separate the two of you on policy?
You know, I don't think I've ever seen in my lifetime such a distinct contrast between the Republicans and the Democratic parties. Certainly going back, pre-Reagan, we've had differences, certainly, but never to this extent. We have a woke, politically correct, pro-radical, left, everything you can think of, socialistic Democrat Party that wants to weaken America, wants to just make us an also-ran country, if you will, open borders, crime, letting people out of jail, you name it, versus somebody, our party believes in strong traditional values, our Constitution, the rule of law, closed and secure borders, and when criminals are absolutely held to account, not letting them off, not letting people out of jail, not excusing people from paying their debts, and leaving it on the shoulders of the American taxpayers, like this forgiveness of student debt. Over and over again, we've seen the Democrats prioritize climate change over national security, over the prosperity of the American taxpayer. It is incredible, and I think the American people know what's been going on. They can, every time they go to the grocery store, fill up their gas tanks, have to worry about criminals in their communities, and seeing the millions of illegal aliens swarming into our country. I think they know what's going on, and parents, for goodness sakes, that are called domestic terrorists for going up and protesting in front of their school boards, as is their right to find out what the curriculum that their children are learning in these school districts. Yes, I think we're going to have some big issues come up, as we saw in Virginia this past year. And I think the American people all over this country are in the same frame of mind as those Virginians were that tossed out the Democratic Party of Virginia.
Congressman, you mentioned quite a few issues. There truly are many issues that are going to be on the ballot. In your state of Texas, there's another big race. You have incumbent Governor Greg Abbott against Beto O'Rourke. You mentioned illegal immigration. How much of a factor do you think the issue of illegal immigration is going to play in this year's midterms?
Huge in the state of Texas. It should be this way all over the entire country, quite frankly, because every state is now considered a border state. Every county is now considered a border county because of the influx of literally millions and millions of illegal aliens who have been invited in and enabled by this Biden administration, incentivized to come in. And no bigger friend, no other administration has ever held laws the way Secretary Mayorkas and President Biden and Kamala Harris have done. They're making billions of dollars, creating really a nightmarish situation where nearly 900 illegal aliens have died trying to come across, 860 or so that have died trying to cross. We have 107,000 dead Americans from overdoses of drugs that have just poured across our border because we have enabled the Chinese to send in those ingredients to Mexico, who then mix them up, even in putting rainbow colors into their fentanyl pills to make them to be unattracted to children, to young people. And that's why I think we've got the main cause of death for people between the ages of 18 and 45 years old. I think 48 years old is drug overdoses, and it's coming directly from China and Mexico, and they're enriching themselves at the cost of the American people.
Congressman Brian Babin, thank you so much.
You're welcome.